We are in the thick of the NFL mock draft season, and Lance Zierlein of NFL.com has been a longtime media scout for years. I love his work. Based out of Houston, he's really phenomenal. He's one of our go-to guys in terms of referencing these prospects, and he did up his latest mock draft 2.1, right after the Combine, and there's a couple things going on in this draft, and the Vikings, they come away with a premium plus edge defender with a huge high ceiling, even though, yes, corner, D-line, guys who can get the passer, kind of important as well. So let's go through. Lance at 1, Will Anderson. He's got a couple trades in here, but he's got the Bears not trading down in this one. Bryce Young goes to the Texans. The Raiders come up for C.J. Stroud. Now, it's interesting. I think Stroud really impressed with his throwing at the Combine, which, I mean, it isn't a shocker. He's got great accuracy. He's got a good arm. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. I think he's going to be a good leader. He's got good size, throws some base, good mechanics. So I think that he, given Bryce Young's size and durability questions, and of course, I mean, lots of questions with Levis and Richardson, I think Stroud is certainly the safest quarterback, even with a decent upside. So the Raiders move up to go get him at 3. Richardson falls into the laps of the Colts at 4. Jalen Carter falls to the Seahawks at 5. Devin Witherspoon comes off the board to the Lions. I like that fit a lot, and it really sucks because, I mean, if the Lions get that defense going, it's going to be tough. Tyree Wilson, the freaky edge rusher, goes to Arizona, which is interesting because they probably would have taken him at 3 anyway, so being able to move down and get some draft picks makes sense. 8. So the Falcons could go quarterback here, but they do seem like they do have a hard-on for Desmond Ridder, the pride of Cincinnati, because they're reportedly not in on Lamar Jackson. So we'll see, but they could have Will Levis in the spot, but they pass. Miles Murphy coming out of Clemson. I love it. Will Levis goes to the Panthers, where, I mean, working with Frank Reich, I think it does make sense here. Carolina's been champion at the bit trying to find their future franchise quarterback. Levis, this could be a really good spot for him. Gonzalez goes to the Eagles. That sucks. They're probably going to lose Bradbury in free agency. So you got Christian Gonzalez and Darius Big Play Slay paired up. That's gross, man. Skoronski, even though some people question the arm length, I think Skoronski going to Tennessee, replacing Luana at left tackle, makes sense. Then the Texans. So of course our guy D'Amico Ryans is a defensive dude. So a lot of mock drafts have gone the Texans going quarterback and receiver at 2 and 12, but getting a guy like Van Ness, who he can be super freaky, and yes, the comparisons between J.J. Watt and T.J. Watt will be there, but Van Ness, just scratching the surface of what he can be, a rotational pass rusher with the Hawkeyes, but now can be a star in Houston. Broderick Jones coming out of Georgia, the redshirt sophomore. I love this pick for the Jets. Well, if they stay here, if they're not trading this pick for the Aaron Rodgers, but Becton, I mean, Becton's a physical freak, but he just has not been able to stay healthy. This is a nice way to hedge that bet. Darnell Wright. Wright's a guy who, I mean, I don't know why people were low on him to begin with, but he had great showings against Will Anderson. He had great showings against some of the premium edge rushers. So the Patriots grab him since whatever's going on with Isaiah Wynn. But yeah, Darnell Wright is going to be that guy. Michael Mayer going to Green Bay. Jordan Love finally gets himself a nice tight end weapon. 16, Paris Johnson Jr. I mean, the Ohio State tackles are phenomenal this year. So the Commies get themselves. Get themselves a great tackle on the edge. Deonte Banks, it's our guy. So he's cornerback 3 off the board, going to Pittsburgh. 18, the Lions get Bijan Robinson. I would hate this. So they have an extra first-round pick, so this is a luxury pick for sure. But they got Witherspoon at corner, and now they got Bijan Robinson. That's going to be gross. It's going to be really, really gross, man. 19, the run on cornerbacks. Well, no, sorry. Run on receivers coming up. But Joey Porter Jr., going to the Bucks, then who are probably going to lose Jamel Dean in free agency. Then a run on receivers. Quentin Johnston goes to Seattle, a big-time target for Geno. Although Johnston and DK, that's pretty good. And then he still got Lockett running around there. And then Jackson Smith and Jigba. And this one certainly could change since they restructured Keenan Allen, which means they're keeping him in the fold. But JSN with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, even though I do like Josh Palmer a little bit, I mean, that's a lot of fun. That is a ton of fun, man. 22, the Ravens got Zay Flowers. So the Vikings on board at 23. Now there's a gang of really good cornerbacks still on board. Cam Smith is still there. Keely Ringo is still there. Kalijah Cansey is still on board. Brian Branch would be an absolute dream at 23, but I understand why the Vikings are going Keion White in this spot. This is what Lance wrote. White needs more game polish, but he's big, strong, and athletic. If his NFL team can continue to develop his traits at defensive end, White has a high ceiling. And like we said, there's a lot of really good players still left on board. A lot of guys fall into the second round. I mean, Brian Branch really stands out to me, as well as Cam Smith, obviously, plus Keely Ringo. But I mean, Keion White, you're betting on that upside, and White certainly has that. The pride of Virginia Tech. He started his career at Old Dominion, where he was a tight end. He's only been playing on the defense side of the ball for 4 seasons. So even though he's going to be an older prospect coming in, turned 24 in January, still is seen as kind of raw. But I mean, the physical tools are absolutely there. He's 6'5", he's 285. He's got decently long arms, big hands, and even though he didn't really test in the speed or agility, solid in explosiveness and racked up and stacked up on the bench. And he's one of those size speed freaks. Maybe he'll run the 40 at his pro day, but inside, outside, flexibility, I think could be a really solid 4-tech, 5-tech in Brian Flores' defense, as well as a guy who can collapse the pocket and get after the quarterback. This is Lance's full scouting report overview. Athletic big man offering scheme versatility and projectable upside. White has good short area quickness as well as speed and space. He lacks consistency early phase technique to control the rep, but his recovery talent, hustle, and athletic traits put him in position to get in on the action. His pass rush is predictable and lacks focus, but he's bendy, could take a big leap forward in this department provided the coaching catches up with his physical gifts. He's still in the developmental phase, but his physical athletic profile gives him a chance to become a plus starter at 4-3 or 3-4 defensive end. And he is a guy who is going to have his hand in the dirt. So if the Vikings stick with a 3-4, he's going to be that 5-tech. Maybe he slides to close end of the field defensive end. If the Vikings go 4-man line, he's not going to be a dude who's going to be a stand-up outside linebacker, but really impressed at the Senior Bowl. Some may say he's one of the largest winners from down in Mobile and helped his draft stock a lot. And he's a guy where it would be interesting because, like I said, there's a lot of premium talent still left on that board. Like Brian Branch is there. Nolan Smith is still on the board. The great cornerbacks as well. Drew Sanders, Mazi Smith, etc. So, I mean, Keion White, I get the upside. It may be sort of a tough and interesting sell to the fan base where you have an older guy who's still raw, who's still you're betting on potential. You don't have a second-round pick. He's a guy that you're probably not going to even pencil in as a starter from week 1. But I think White's upside is decent enough that Kwesi could roll the dice here a little bit. And, the Vikings defensive line, I mean, it's been bereft of guys who can get to the passer consistently. I mean, Daniil and Zadaris have been getting after it on the edge, but where is that pass rush from the 5-tech? Where is that pass rush from the interior defensive line? I think Keion White could be that guy going forward. But your thoughts on our thoughts, take a look at Lance Zierlein's latest NFL mock draft. The Vikings come away with Georgia Tech's Keion White. Let us know your thoughts on our thoughts and his thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But to next time, Skol, production value.